In January this year, I decided to take on a new challenge, a solo backpacking trip to South Italy. In the last video, I explored the historical city of Naples and the beautifully preserved ruins at Herculaneum. In this episode, I travel south, to the other side of the bay, to explore the Amalfi coast. First stop, Sorrento. It's sunset. I've already seen the colours of the sky from the train, and I'm just heading down to the coast now to see it properly. That is an incredible view. Wow. Sorrento had a completely different vibe to Naples. It was relaxed and fun to explore. The narrow streets with their beautiful lights led down to small tucked away shops or viewpoints over the bay. There were many beautiful Christian shrines built into the walls throughout the town and leading down towards the coastline. They clearly are trying to cater to the British. We have a Guinness sign, the English Inn, a full English breakfast, a fish and chips bar, live sport with Sky, London, British men, summed up, apparently. The main street offered a variety of places to eat, and I settled on having my first pasta dish of the trip, a simple tomato and basil, but it was delicious. I stayed for 2 nights at the Ulysses Deluxe Hostel. It's the only hostel accommodation that I could find on the Amalfi coast, and it's safe to say this isn't your usual bunk room. Okay, so this is what I've just walked into. It's just a regular room, but it's been set up with beds all around the edges. It's an all-female dorm, which is good because it's so close quarters, but I've noticed that every single bed has been claimed, other than mine, which is in the middle. There's a whole separate bathroom space with a bath. Oh my days. I don't think I'll be having a bath there. It just makes me laugh because it's this hotel catering to the backpacker culture, but it's a cheap bed for a couple of nights for me, so can't complain, can I? The next morning was an early start as I had given myself a mission. Back home, I'd heard of a trail named the Path of the Gods, which swept along the tops of the cliffs above Amalfi. To get there, I had to take 2 buses, one to Amalfi and then the second up to Bolomaro, where the trail began. I was so excited to start my adventure. I'd heard so much about the beauty of the Amalfi coast, and this bus ride would surely show me some of that. From Sorrento to Amalfi, the bus ride takes over an hour and the route heads up and over the cliffs before dropping down the other side and along the coastal road. The whole time it felt like I was on a scenic tour, all for the small price of around £4. The elevation gain and loss on this relatively tiny peninsula is astounding. After about half an hour we got to Positano, the town where the Path of the Gods hike ends, and I would be getting a bus back from to Sorrento. I scouted the streets as we drove by for an obvious bus stop, but all the locals were just seemingly getting on at random corners. I quickly looked to try and remember where these places were for later reference. Before long, we were in Amalfi, where I would be switching buses in order to get to the start of the trail. Getting off the bus was surreal. It felt like this place wasn't real.
Grazie.
Bye.
Welcome to Amalfi.
I believe I came here on a very lucky day. The sun was shining, it wasn't too hot, and as it was only January, the crowds didn't bother me either.
Oh, this is so cool.
I brought my tickets for the next two buses I was going to take, from here to the start of the trail and then from the end of the trail back to Sorrento.
You buy a blank ticket for the service that you're after, so this is a Sita bus. And then once you get on the bus, you then stamp it that you've been on it. So this is one that I stamped already, and it gets stamped on the back. Buongiorno.
Grazie.
I wandered around some shops, decided against this hat, before it was time to indulge in a sweet treat.
Very, very good.
My short visit to Amalfi was coming to an end, and it was time to wait for my next bus, taking me up the cliffside to a place called Bolomaro.
Pretty good. Grazie. Welcome to Bolomaro. Bye bus. I'm now stranded, literally up in the mountain range. Here we go, walking trails. We are here, Bolmarano. That's where I'm walking to, so I'm doing this whole bit there. I'm glad I'm doing this out of season. I wasn't expecting it to be such a big deal here. So I guess in season this would be quite a busy place to be. But I was the only one that got off the bus here. So hopefully I have the trail relatively to myself, which would be amazing. Yes, I've been trying to get a picture of one of these for ages. I'm so obsessed with them. They're absolutely everywhere. I want to do a touring one. I want one. Stop it. Look at it. Imagine how much stuff you can fit in there. Look. It's the donkeys. Don't tell me a donkey lives in there.
The tourism boards had said that this hike would take roughly 4 hours, and I excitedly began along the trail. I had heard of the Path of the Gods hike in a book I had at home, not realising it was one of the main tourist features of this area.
Look, there's a house up here. So this is the part where the route splits in two. It doesn't matter which way you go. There's a higher way or a lower way. You already know which one I'm going up. Obviously I'm going up the highway. Isn't that beautiful? I smell of sun cream now. I thought it was going to be donkeys.
In my opinion, the trail easily lived up to its name. The hike takes you along the side of the cliff, dropping into some gorges and forests before bursting out into the views again. It was a lovely level of hiking too, not too technical, but enough to feel enjoyable and fun. As you progress along, it's as though the views just get better and better, before finally the Amalfi coast stretches ahead.
So this is obviously a view down the coastline, and that bit right at the very end is Capri, the island. That is amazing. Imagine camping there. God, and then with that. I've decided this is where I'm having my pit stop. That's amazing. There we go. Onsato is 15 minutes away. So I'm just approaching Marcel. I assume that's how you pronounce it. That is so cool.
The trail came to an end in Nacelle, a small hilltop village, and from here you can walk down to Positano, where I'll be catching my bus back. Here, I found a toilet to use that was seemingly clinging to the cliffside.
You've been left behind, little guy. You're so precious.
After dropping off the donkey, I found a local cat who escorted me through the village. I had not considered how far this change in elevation would be, but as I started on the first flight of steps down, I think it started to sink in.
Still going down? This is crazy. I feel sorry for every single tourist that began with good intentions going up these steps. How cool is that?
I would only later find out that in total there are 1,700 steps from Nacelle to Positano, and I definitely felt it in my legs for a few days after.
The road. So I did notice that this was a stop earlier, like the bus did stop here.
I had ended up timing out the day perfectly. As I sat down on the bus, the sun began to set, and the lights of the houses all along the coastline lit up. It made for a completely different view for the journey back to Sorrento. I assumed this would be the end of the antics for that day, but after getting back to the hostel, I made a new friend.
And this is Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess.
From Australia.
What have you got there?
We've got a passion fruit
Mojito.
That is good.
Is it worth €10?
Shh.
We can cut that out in the edit.
Cut that
out.
I've been saying to people, ciao, parle inglese, which I thought was hi, do you speak English? No, it means hi, speak English. Which is so rude, and that's why people have been looking at me funny.
So you can say, le capisce l'inglese. So, do you understand English? Might be a nice way to say it.
Le capisce l'inglese.
Yeah, perfect.
Le
Perfecto.
capisce l'inglese.
I'm number one in Duolingo, so I think I know. I've done. See? Number one. I don't know what that
Between
means.
who?
I don't know, randoms.
Okay. Oh my god, so good. I finally found the pizza without cheese that exists. It's garlic bread with tomato. That's basically what's going on here.
After eating dinner together, we headed out for a few drinks, and Jess convinced me to try the local limoncello.
A sniff.
Oh.
He said to do it slow. Don't shot it like it's a Sam Booker on a Saturday night.
She then also convinced the table next to us as well.
Goodness. And it tastes good. It tastes very good. Yes. It's like I've got an entire lemon and I've just smashed it into my face.
That is what it's like.
Yes,
That is what
just
it's like.
smashed it in. Of course not. God, what am I doing? It's Wednesday night.
We rounded off the evening in the English inn, whose random British decor made its way inside, with a few oddball selections from other countries thrown in too.
That is definitely American over there. That's not even close.
This is the funniest thing I've ever
It's
seen.
a few hundred years too late, that one.
That evening, myself, Jess, and another lady I met in the hostel, Lisa, from the States, stayed up till gone midnight, putting the world to rights and swapping stories.
This is Lisa, and you met Jess yesterday.
They just come and talk to you. Like they're just asking us.
In order to get to the train towards my next leg of the journey, I would have to head back into Naples. Coincidentally, Jess was also heading that way too, so we hopped on a train together before saying our goodbyes a couple hours later. I was alone again and ready for the next stop. It would be a long train ride for me down to Sicily.